And does it matter if we don't actually ever use Bitcoin to purchase things, be it cars or a cup of coffee?
No, the free market incentives take care of themselves, actually. It's the reservation demand when someone's choosing to hold Bitcoin for whatever reason, taking it off the market, that actually creates upward pressure on its price. And then those individuals that enter the market properly at the right price point, as the market cap grows from that reservation demand, they have increasing unrealized gains built into that position. So there's an increasing incentive for them to go and spend over time. So I'm not concerned at all about it being ultimately used as a medium of exchange. I think it's a natural progression of money. The difficult thing to understand for people is that we've only seen one asset monetize in this way, and it was gold. And it took thousands of years. Bitcoin, being on a digital, epistemic playing field, is just happening much more quickly.
So looking at the volatility that we've seen this week and some areas for concern, Elon Musk, we've covered that he doesn't want to accept Bitcoin, but that's also linked to his views that it's no longer seen as environmentally friendly. On top of that, we had China saying that they're going to ban the use of currency transactions. Then, as I mentioned, we heard from the Treasury that the IRS is going to get more aggressive on the tax side. The government of India is saying it may form a panel of experts to examine regulating cryptocurrencies. So when you look at all of these factors together, what is your near-term outlook for Bitcoin?
Yeah, I would say, frankly, we've seen almost everything you just said could have been said equally 4 to 5 years ago. Every time we're in a bull market, every regulatory agency in the world wants to come out and say they're doing this or that to control Bitcoin and tax it or what may have you. But ultimately, it's just Bitcoin is a game that plays by its own rules. So it's going to bend all of the regulators around it over time. And as far as the short-term outlook goes, I think we are 12 months into the bull market, frankly. So historically, the Bitcoin halving triggers a bull run that persists for about 12 to 18 months after each event. So the last halving, in which Bitcoin's inflation rate was cut from 12.5 Bitcoin to 6.25 per block, was in May 2020. Historically, I think it's roughly 510 days after the halving event, the market tends to put in a new all-time high price. So that would put us around mid-October, or kind of early to mid Q4 this year for an expectation of a new Bitcoin all-time high price. I had a model posted. I think it's still published on Twitter 3 years ago that we called the next Bitcoin peak at $244,000. I modified that model after COVID because I also think that the inflationary pressures on the US dollar are going to become especially pronounced roughly 18 months after the printing began, which just so happens to fall right in line with the next Bitcoin price peak. So I think we could break $300,000 in this market cycle. And at that point,
when you say this market cycle, what do you mean by that? Give me a more specific time period.
This is Bitcoin's 4th market cycle. So it's had these huge run-up peaks. The last one, say it bottomed in July 2015 at $200. Over the next 29 months, it ran up 100x to 20,000 in December 2017. That's really when it got on the global radar. And then it had a drawdown of 84% to about 3,500 in December 19. That was the 3rd Bitcoin market cycle, which was again mapped onto its halving. Every time its inflation rate cuts in half of the supply available on the market to be sold by miners is reduced by half. So holding demand constant, price goes up. But of course, the market's constantly overshooting and undershooting its actual value. So, running numbers on those figures and looking at Bitcoin's hash rate, which is the energy being allocated to secure its network, I think we're on target to break $300,000 this year.
This year. So that's your target, $300,000.
$307,000. Yeah, that's our current model price.
307. I like that. I like that specificity. That's very exact.
You got to listen to the spreadsheet.